Hey guys, this is Jack. I believe you guys have watched these kind of YouTube channels. So this YouTube channel focuses on the horror stories, and then the other one is kind of a bedtime stories. So today I'm going to show you how to use AI and N8N to create these kind of storytelling videos with just one button. So before we start, let's watch our examples first. So this is a bedtime story generated by my workflow.
Once upon a time, in a quiet meadow, Bunny was smaller than the other bunnies, but his heart was. He wondered what secrets the twin.
This is a bedtime story generated by my workflow. I actually use AI to create 3 stories and then use Poly to do the audio and then combine these 3 stories as one video. So right now I'm going to show you how I execute my workflow, and then in the meantime, I want to explain how my workflows work. And this whole process take like a minute to finish the whole story and then to upload the videos to YouTube, showing you that this is really generated by my workflow. Okay, so first of all, we use DeepSeek to generate a titles for our videos, for our storytelling video. And then for this time, I want to create a bedtime stories, so I ask DeepSeek to generate 3 titles for me. And then I also use DeepSeek to generate the content of the stories, so it is for the script. And then I will use GPT to create 3 cover photos based on those 3 titles, and then using Amazon Poly to create the narration audio. And then at the end, we will upload these 3 videos to our Amazon S3 bucket. And then we will have our backend server to combine these 3 videos to one and then upload to YouTube. So this is the basic concept of how we do this with our N8N workflow. So now my workflow is done, then we will go to my YouTube channel and then see the result. So in here you will see we have a new video. Yes, so this is our video. So I have uploaded all my workflows and my backend server to my Patreon page. So if you have subscribed my page, then you will be able to get my workflows and also the backend server. So you will be able to do what I did in here. Just follow my tutorials, then you will be able to create your own automated channels. So in here you will see this is the post from my subscriber. We already have 4 different workflows, which we have already covered in my previous YouTube videos. So you can go to my channel, watch all those videos, and then you will know how to use those workflows. And also we have a N8N backend server in there, and now we have come to 1.2 version, which means we have upgraded our server already. So this time we will be able to use the story generator and then to create the storytelling videos. I have shown you guys how to download the workflows and also the backend server and then load it to your computer using Docker. So you can go to the previous episodes. I'll put the link in the description, then you'll be able to follow our steps. So now we will go to the very important part, which is the cost for this video. So for this story generator, we will have 5 different components to build this story generator. For the first one, we will have the script generation, which is using DeepSeek AI. And since we're creating 3 stories, so it will cost 1 cent. And then for the second part is to create the cover photo. So we're using OpenAI to generate 3 cover photos. So since it costs 4 cents to create 1 photo, so in total we need to pay 12 cents. For the narration part, we use Amazon Poly to do the text to speech. And then for that part, we're using the free tier, so it costs $0. And then same for the cloud storage, so as we are using the Amazon S3 like we usually do, so it also costs $0 as well. And then for the last part, which is editing the videos, we're using our backend server. You can get it by subscribing my Patreon. So it will cost around 6 cents per video. So the calculation is the same as our previous videos. So actually by using my backend server, you can create unlimited videos, but I assume you guys will create 10 videos per day. So in total for a month, you'll be able to create 300 videos. And then for the cost per video, then it will be 6 cents. So in total for this story generator, you will need 19 cents to create these stories. For the things you need, it is the same as our previous videos. So you will need Docker desktop, backend server, Amazon token, YouTube API key and the DeepSeek API key. We have covered all these things in our previous videos, so if you are new to our channel, you can go to my description. I will have the link in there to show you the full guide to prepare all this stuff. So now I'm going to show you the Amazon Poly. So Amazon Poly is a new stuff. It is actually a text-to-speech AI. So you give him some sentence, then it can generate an audio, and you can modify the voice based on the volumes, the rate, which is the speed, and also you can pick different voice you like. For the English language, there are like 5 to 6 accents that you can pick, and then for each accent, there might be different voice, like a male voice or a female voice. And also the powerful thing is that it can generate lots of different kinds of languages you want. It can do Mandarin, Dutch, French, and also it can do Cantonese, which is very rare. So now we will go to Amazon and then we search Amazon Poly in there. In here you will see text to speech. Before we do editing, we go to the right corner. For the regions, you will need to switch to US East 1. Because for this specific region, you will have the access to all the engines, languages, and voice. So I'll suggest you to use this region. For the engine part, for this time we will use the neural engine because it can produce a more natural and human-like speech. So we use neural engine, and then for the language, you can pick whatever you want in here. So for English, there are different accents that you can pick. For example, if I pick English US, and then there will be tons of voice you can pick. Once you have picked the language and the voice, then you can put some examples in there in the input test. And then you can click listen, then you will be able to hear out how the voice sounds like. And then you'll be able to pick the voice that you want most. And remember, for the voice, there is a name in there, right? So this name is actually the voice ID that we need in our N8N workflow. So make sure you remember the voice ID, and then we will use that voice ID in our N8N workflow. And now I'm going to show you how to enable this Amazon Poly API. So we go to IM. And then we go to users, and here we pick N8N, which is the one that we have been using. And then under the permissions, you should see Amazon S3 full access. And then you will say add permissions in here, create a group. The reason to create this group is that we want to add the Poly full access to our users. So we have to create a group to have the permission policies in there and then add it to our user. So we check that N8N Poly, and then we go next and then add permissions. Then you will see that you will have the permissions to Poly full access. Then you will be able to use your token to use Amazon Poly. So now we go to our Patreon, we go to the post and then download the story generator and also get the most updated backend server. For now, we have version 1.2, so we get that N8N backend v1.2. And if you forgot how to load the N8N backend server or how to load the workflows, you can check the previous episodes. So we have a full guide in there to cover that part. Alright, so everything is set. So now we will go to our workflow, and then I'm going to show you how to use my workflow to create that story generator. For the first step, you will go to the first node, which is set variables. In here, you will see 3 variables to be set. So the first one is the characters need. It is 1,000 in here. So this number is very important. So for Amazon Poly, it only accepts 3,000 characters. So you have to make sure that the script generated by DeepSeek has to be under 3,000 characters. So for this time, I would say just 1,000, just in case. And then for the second one, number of stories. So for this one, we have no limitations for this. So you can, if you want, you can say 20 number of stories, then it will create 20 stories and then combine all 20 stories into one video. And then for the type of story, this is important because everyone do different stories, right? So in here, you can put horror story, bedtime stories, or any stories that you like. So this is for the type of the story. So now we go to system prompt. In here, I have everything set already, so I would suggest not to touch it in here. So basically this is a prompt for the DeepSeek to generate the titles. So we will give him the number of stories that we want and also the type of stories, then he will create the story titles. Now when we go to generating story titles, you will see I have used the system prompt we have set earlier and also the variables that you set at the first node. So in the green part, you will see that we have the system prompt. In the content, I would say give me 3 bedtime kid story titles, which is the variables that you set in the first node. So in the first node, if you set 20 stories and then horror story, then the green part would become give me 20 horror story titles. And then on the right hand side for the output, you will see the answers for the story titles. So we have the Brave Little Bunny. For video titles, because I want to extract the story titles only, so on the right hand side for the output, you will see all the video titles there with comma as the denominator. So it will allow us to use this aggregate title later on. For this formatting to list, this is also a formatting node. So since we have the aggregate title, I need to split this to a list. What is a list? Later on we will use a for loop approach to loop all these titles and then do a few things. So in here for the aggregate title, we split it into 3 different items, and then it will allow us to loop over 3 different items, these 3 titles in there. Then we will start doing a bunch of things over these 3 items because we would be doing some repetitive work over them. So like we will have to create the content by using the DeepSeek, which is the script for the stories, and then we will use GPT to create the cover photo, and then use Poly to create the audio, and then combine them as one video and upload to Amazon S3 bucket. So for these whole actions, we will do it over and over again to all these 3 items for these 3 titles. So in here, I'm going to split these into a list, and then we will have 3 items in this list. And then later on, we will have a node which is loop over items. In there, we will be able to do all the actions over all these 3 items at the same time. So for this loop over items, this is what I just mentioned. On the right hand side for the output, you will see we have 3 items, and then there's a done branch in there and also a loop branch, which means we are going to loop over these 3 items and then do a bunch of actions over them. So this is why we have to split those titles into a list. Now let's go to the first action. For the first one, we're going to generate the story, which is the script. So in here, on the left hand side for the input, you will see there are 3 items, which is 3 titles that we have generated, and we're going to put these titles into the prompt. So this is the prompt I'm going to give to DeepSeek, and saying that according to this title, which is what we have generated, write a script with a number of characters we have set in the very first node, and then with some sort of instructions. Because I have this prompt set already, so I would suggest you guys not to touch the prompt in here. But basically what I'm giving DeepSeek is that I'm telling him to create a very direct script. And actually this whole prompt is to make sure that the output generated by DeepSeek is okay for Amazon Poly to root it out. And then for this second branch, it is a node to count the characters. So like I have said earlier, Amazon Poly only accepts 3000 characters. So in here, we have to count the characters of the script. So in here, we have a if branch, which is to determine whether the characters counted is less than or greater than 3000. So if it is less than 3000, then we'll continue. Otherwise, we're going to reject it. So if the number of characters are all set, then we will go to the first action, which is the audio script formatting. So like I said, DeepSeek is going to generate the script, right? The format of the script might not be suitable for the Poly to do the audio generating. So we have to do some formatting in here, and then we will be able to pass it to Poly to do the audio. So in here, we will generate the cover photo first. So we will get the titles that we have generated and then put it in here, and then ask OpenAI to generate a photo or a picture of the type of the stories that we have set, and also the title is the one that DeepSeek generated. So on the right hand side for the output, you will see 3 different images in there, and then we will upload all these 3 images to the Amazon S3 bucket. In here, you will put your bucket name in here because we all have our unique bucket name, so you can't use mine in here, but I'll suggest you to use the one that we used in our previous videos. So for this one, it is a N8N AI image. So for yours, it should be N8N AI image dash your name or some other stuff. Yeah, bucket name should be similar to mine, but make sure you have changed it to your own bucket name. Okay. So for this one, we're going to generate the audio. So you will see I will pass the script generated by the DeepSeek and also formatted by the previous node, and then the Poly will accept those script, and then based on the body parameters we have set in here, which is the volume, rate, and the voice ID, then it will generate the audio. So for the volume and rate, I have explained it earlier, and for the rate, it is the speed of the voice. There are some specific variables you have to set in here, so I will put those variables in description so you can check it out and then put the one that you want in here. So for the voice ID, I've set it when we're demonstrating Amazon Poly. So when you have test out all the voices and then you have decided to use the voice, you need to put the name of the voice in here. So this one I'm using is Sally. So you put your voice ID in here, then you'll be able to generate the voice that you just test. So on the right hand side for the output, you will see there are 3 different audios. And then we are going to upload these 3 audios to Amazon S3 bucket. So for the bucket name, you have to change it to the one that you have. So make sure you change the bucket name, but for the file name, we have set already, so you don't have to touch it. And for the last part, we're going to combine the photos generated by GPT and also the audios generated by Poly. And then by combining these 2 elements, then we will be able to get a video of that story. So for the body parameters, you have to update your audio bucket, image bucket, and also the final video bucket name. For the final video bucket name, it is a bucket to store the videos that we have generated. So we will generate 3 different videos, right? And then these 3 videos will go to that bucket. So make sure you have a bucket to store these videos. So for the image key, audio key, and final video key, you don't have to touch it. And these keys are following the titles that we have created. So you will see we have the Brave Little Bunny image, the Brave Little Bunny audio, and the Brave Little Bunny.mp4. Okay, now we have done all the loop over items branch. Then we are going to the first route, which is to combine all these 3 stories together as one video and then upload it to YouTube. But before that, we're going to Amazon S3 buckets. I want to show you all the buckets that I have mentioned. So this is the N8N storytelling video bucket. So in here you will see we have 3 different stories uploaded to here. So we have the Brave Little Bunny and the rest. I don't really remember the titles, but yes, we have those 3 videos uploaded to here. And then you will see there is a merge video, which is the one that we are going to build. So we are going to combine all those 3 videos together as one video, right? So the output would be the merge video.mp4. And then we're going to download that merge video.mp4 and then upload it to YouTube. So now we're back to the workflow and we will check the first node. So for the first one is video keyless. So this is a node to format the video key. So you will see for the output, we have the Brave Little Bunny.mp4 and the rest. So these are the video keys that we have just uploaded. And then I'm going to pass these 3 video keys to our backend server. And also we're going to pass the final video bucket name as well. So our backend server will go to that bucket, get these 3 videos, which is the .mp4, and then combine these 3 videos together. So you'll see in this node, combine videos, we have the video bucket name, which is the one that stored all those 3 videos. And also for the video keyless, you don't have to touch it because I have formatted it in the earlier node. So I'll just pass it to here. And then we're going to tell our backend server where to get those 3 videos. So once we have combined the video, then it will become the merge video.mp4 that we have just shown, right? So we go to the first route, which is download video. Then we will download that video to our N8N workflow. And then for the second route, which is to create the YouTube draft. In here, you will need to set the title, description, and the tags. And for the privacy status, you have to set it as public. And then for the title, I made it as bedtime story dash the titles that we have generated by DeepSeek. You can do whatever you like in here, and then for the description you have to put your description in there, because I just put it as bedtime story. So you do all your own stuff in here, then we'll be good. So once this is set, then we will do some usual stuff, which is to transform the video, merge these two routes together, and then upload it to YouTube. So that's it for today, and for the next episode, I'm going to show you how to do something similar, but we're going to do a news broadcasting videos. So stay tuned and goodbye.